Are there things that you have experienced, or I would say attitudes, or the way that you act, um, that you think are a positive and other people think it's a negative? Ask yourself that question. Are there things that you do, or an attitude that you have, or um, ways you react to things that make other people think, that maybe people around you mention is a negative, but you think is a positive? I say this to say, um, my son stopped by today, my middle child, my middle son, not middle child, but my middle son stopped by today to talk to me in regards to, situations that he's dealing with in his life. And it was funny because the way that I raised my children, or I raised, or the way that I grew up, was things happen to you, but it's not the things that happen to you that matter. It's how you handle it that matters. And so a lot of times, things, traumatizing situations, things that I've been through in my life, things that my kids have been through, where other people may have dwelt on it, or it may have, changed the trajectory of their life. It's like we just deal with it and we move on, because that's how I was taught. That's how I taught them. And so I don't see it as a negative, because sometimes something happens to you, and you could just sit there and deal with it, and woes me, or, oh, I lost my job, woes me. Well, I've always trained my children, if you lost something, it was meant for you to lose. So, yes, it's going to feel bad. It's not going to feel great at the time, but it's up to you on what you do with it. And so you just continue to move on. And I don't feel like that's a bad thing, but I think people around him, because of how he is, they would rather him to sit and waddle in it and be depressed, or just be angry for a long time, to where our our um attitude is okay. I mean, if it's a breakup, I've broken up with people recently. And it's like, okay, yes, it hurts. Yes, the situation may not have turned out the way that I wanted, but okay, what's next? And so that's the attitude that I kind of have with things. I don't really dwell on things. And so, because these are the seeds that I planted in my children, they kind of have those attitudes too. And so I'm just wondering, are there things, or do you think that that is a negative, to be able to pick up and move on? Or do you see that as a positive? I've always thought it was just life. Whether it, no positive or negative, that's just the way it is. And so, are there any things out there, that people are dealing with, or people see, that you see as maybe a positive, or just how life is, that other people have came back to you and thought it was a negative? And so, I don't know. I just was like, let me make a video and ask the public, is that do they feel like that's a bad thing? Not that it's going to change how I am, because it's so inbred in me. I mean, I'm 51 years old. It's not like I'm gonna, stop being who I am. I'm always trying to get better, at doing things. So I'm probably moving toward picking up and moving quicker rather than changing how I react. But that's one thing I told him. I said, there are things that I don't even know or realize that I passed on to you guys. but there's so much power in sowing seeds, by your actions and things that you do or things that you say. And so that's why now in life, and I told my son this, I'm so intentional. I'm so intentional with things that I do because I feel like everything is a seed that you're sowing. You're either sowing it on good tilled ground or you just sowing it on stone and it's not going to grow. And so I'm just being more intentional. I don't know. It's just a thought for today. All right. Well, make sure y'all make comments and post your thoughts so that I can read them and see what's on your mind. All right. Have a good day. And as I always say, be a blessing to someone else. Bye.